Obviously, you want to know what we saw during the NFL draft? Let's check.
A Vegas-based duo, the Skating Aratas. Jenny is from Kyiv, Ukraine, and has been raising funds for children back in her home country.
Good evening, and thank you so much for having me here tonight. It has been extremely difficult for us
Jesus Christ.
away.
This is unbelievable.
And to talk to my friends and family members who remained in Ukraine. Throughout this devastation,
Ukraine,
inspired by the strength and unity of our people, we remain humbled by the outpouring of support from the entire world and all over the USA. Thank you for standing with us in solidarity as we continue to fight for freedom.
Jesus Christ.
God bless America. Glory to Ukraine.
It's everywhere. It's everywhere. They have everyone in on it.
It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. It's like, and so as if the only war in the whole world is in Ukraine, as if we're not occupying a third of Syria right now. Which third do you think that is? It's the third with the oil fields. As if Israel isn't bombing Syria on the regular. As if we're not helping Saudi Arabia commit a genocide in Yemen right now. Over 500,000 people are dead there. I mean, they would just ignore all of that, and nobody, and that's why there's no news anchor on corporate news who's going to mention anything I just said, or else they get fucking fired.
Yeah, they don't mention Yemen either. They don't talk about Yemen at all.
And it's so funny, you know, that people say, oh, you know, because if you say something that the Democratic Party disagree with, they call you a right winger or alt-right. And I'm like, you motherfuckers, you all voted for the biggest right winger in the world, Joe Biden. Who do you think's a bigger right winger than that guy? Do you think Clarence Thomas would even be on the court? I mean, all kinds of shit like that. It's just nuts. Those guys, we have two right wing parties, and this idea that you're a nihilist if you don't go along with the military industrial complex and the Wall Street pre-selected fucking candidate, that somehow you're a nihilist. No, that sounds like somebody trying to make excuses for someone propping up the establishment and someone who wants to be accepted in polite society. That's what that is. That's nihilistic, just giving up and going along. That's nihilistic. What's not nihilistic is saying this has to stop at some point, and it's got to stop now. And that takes courage. And what doesn't take courage is telling other people who are sticking their chins out that they're nihilists because they won't go along with the establishment pablum and propaganda, because they stand up against the two-party duopoly, which we all know exists, and that is the goddamn problem. People pretending like electing one more fucking pretend progressives inside the Democratic Party is going to make a lick of difference when they got all the goddamn power in the world right now, and they have had since 2020, and they won't do a goddamn thing with it.
Me and CJ was talking about this, and we was actually very confused by their choice of words there. Like, why would you use nihilist there? It doesn't even make sense, because they are the biggest nihilists, as you just explained. Think about their ideology. Think about the people who've been against forced to vote, people who've been against the March for Medicare for All, the people who are against third parties. Think about their ideology. We have to vote for Jim Crow Joe, one of the most evil politicians in the modern era, because we have no other choice. We are helpless. When we advocate for third party, you say, "Oh, what the point? What the point of advocating for third parties? You guys are gonna lose. There's no way that will ever work." And then we march for Medicare for all. And then it was like, why are you guys marching for Medicare for all? You're not going to get Medicare for all anyway. Why were you forced to vote? You're not going to get Medicare for all anyway. They are the biggest pessimists. Mm-hmm. We are the most optimistic. We got revolutionary optimism. We said, let's march for Medicare for all. Let's see what happens. Yep. Let's force the vote and let's see what happens. Let's build up a third party. Let's see what happens. Meanwhile, every step of the way, we did a General Strike Summit. They came after us for talking about labor. What's the point of doing that?
Bernie Sanders started every speech in 2015 and 16 with, "It sounds like you're ready for a revolution." And when the revolutionaries show up, those people call them nihilists.
Yep. I actually want to show. Can I share this really quick, Nick?
Yeah, go ahead.
It's just a screen share. I want to show people what nihilist actually means, because I really think they're misusing the definition of this word.
Right.
Well,
so
is that definition right next to the definition of corrupt? Because that might be the problem. That a lot of people like to invent their own definition of words like corrupt and nihilist. So that's like this would be a nice little learning moment for them, maybe.
Yeah, so it says nihilism is the belief that all values are baseless and that nothing can be known or communicated. It is often associated with extreme pessimism and radical skepticism that condemns existence. A true nihilist would believe in nothing, have no loyalties, and have no purpose other than perhaps an impulse to destroy. We believe in something, we just don't believe in the current strategy.
Look,
Yeah,
no loyalties.
that's right.
No loyalties. Look who, and remember who did endorse Nia Turner?
That's right.
So they're
That's
the
right.
big nihilists. They had no loyalty. We're not going to endorse Nia Turner because we don't think she's going to win. We don't want to risk our career. So isn't it funny they use that term? I was like, we couldn't believe it here.
You know who did endorse Nina Turner was the People's Party. Isn't that ironic?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then she blocked me.